Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, coming at you with a real quick video and basically saying thank you to all the viewers that talk sense into me into canceling my order for this Destro Despoiler, the $110 vehicle figure combo. And yeah, it's kind of speaking with your wallet. It's a double-edged sword, but I'm on board. I am definitely on board with canceling, waiting, playing the clearance chicken thing. There are a couple of issues with this. Number one, it being almost double the price. Well, number two, you're not going to be able to get the figure separate, which it's looking like that. I doubt they'll put the figure out separately ever down the road, which, I don't know, could we get a retro version of him? I don't know. Some people are saying that his head should have been back metallized, which I do agree with that. There's a whole lot of things to say, but at the end of the day, the price gouging is crazy, and the fact that something this wildly popular, or something people are so excited about, hasn't sold out yet. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to hit it from a few angles really quick. Coming up. So one of the things I said in my news was that I am part of the problem, according to everybody out there. And yeah, all my viewers agree, 100%. And, you know, the thing is that it's real easy to get caught up in all of this and the FOMO and all that kind of stuff. I joke about it a lot. I make a few FOMO memes in my videos. But the reality is when you're being overcharged, when you're being price gouged, and you just go along with it, then yes, you are the problem. A lot of people are so concerned about jumping on the bandwagon of pre-ordering this stuff like I was. And I was thinking I'm not out $1 for pre-ordering it. And if it shows up and it's still everywhere, I could cancel it. But the problem really lies in the fact that if it's getting 20,000 orders, or I don't know how many orders they would get, however many orders, or they all total 20,000 between all the different places, that's still telling Hasbro that that's enough people to price gouge. So if 60% of collectors still pay the full price, they can still continue to price gouge you. But if they can't even sell pre-orders for 20% of the production run, then they're going to have to be concerned about it and consider, why is this an issue? Well, you know what? It's overpriced. That's the issue. And I don't think that the Joe team is used to dealing with that. And I actually kind of feel like for the majority of the line, it's been relatively decent price, decent value. You get a lot of stuff in there for the price versus all the other toy lines like Star Wars or Marvel Legends, because they own the property. Looking at the value play, I am going to say this. The Zanya Dreadnought Chameleon, the Chameleon is way smaller. And in fact, at the $55 price level, which this is $60, but the $55 price level, I believe it might be the smallest vehicle we've seen at this price point level. It doesn't look like it's as big as the Ram. It doesn't have the side gun piece. So, I mean, I just don't think that, yeah, for this price point, I think the Ram was at 40 something. So this is in the $40 price range. Like, actually, if you really stop and think about it, this is also price gouging. And I have this pre-ordered, mostly because I want the Zanya figure. I will say this, if there's going to be a market for people that want extra swamp skiers, even if it's not the greatest thing that's ever been made in the world, people are still going to want multiples for their Dreadnoughts to ride. And so I think that if you just want a Zanya figure for yourself, which is kind of where I'm at, I probably could score a real cheap Zanya down the road for people that break them up and sell off the skiers for almost the 60, because that's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, this is probably price gouging. The smallest vehicle at the $55 price point, yet they're charging $60. Next, we're going to get into talking about the size of this thing. And if you look at it, it is drastically upscaled from the vintage version. And I would argue that I do like the way the new one looks better. I think they did a good job on it. I do think that it kind of makes more sense size-wise. But I'm hearing from other people that they deliberately oversized it from the vintage one just to charge you more. And that's probably true. I mean, to squeeze every penny out of you that they can, and they're doing it, and they're doing it well. No, actually they're not, because no one's buying it. Well, some people are pre-ordering it, but it's not selling out. And see, that's the thing about G.I. Joe classified collectors. We're used to stuff selling out. And I would almost guarantee if they made this a Pulse exclusive, it would have sold out. We would be having a different conversation right now that it sold out for 110. That's crazy. Not it's available everywhere and no place is sold out because it's not a great value. That really is the conversation we're having now. But if it was a Pulse Premium or a Pulse exclusive, then yeah, it'd be sold out. But I do want to kind of touch back on a couple things. So this is 2 issues. Is the Despoiler considerably larger than Serpentor's throne? Some people argue yes. It's kind of hard to make that discussion when they're shaped differently. And yes, you could say that just from putting them side by side, it may look a little bit bigger, but how much plastic's in it versus each one, weighing each one, that truly doesn't 100% translate over to price. But it's kind of like for mental thought, this feels right value-wise. But then we can weigh each one. We can also weigh the swamp skier. we could weigh the claw. We could weigh the trouble bubble. But this was 80. And yeah, we've had a little inflation since then. The only thing in the world that hasn't seen inflation, Star Wars Power of the Force 2 figures from the 90s are the only things that are completely untouched by inflation. They actually suffer from reverse inflation. You think $4.50 was a good price. You can get them for like $3 each now. But this is G.I. Joe stuff we're talking. I can't make a video without cracking a few jokes. You know, it's just the way it is. Now, the Vamp. I believe, it's my belief, the Vamp is considerably larger. And when you weigh them, the Vamp's going to weigh more. That's just my belief, my feeling. Other people disagree. They think it's on par with the Vamp. The Vamp's a 2-seater. I don't know. It'll be fun to see people weighing the Vamp and weighing that eventually when they come out. But it's not really worth it. I mean, the Vamp was a $100 item, and it was a Pulse exclusive, sold out. Almost impossible to get. But the Stinger, which I think is way cooler, was a $100 item. It was available everywhere, and now $37 at select Walmarts. That the Walmarts that got that big display are clearancing them out for the most part. Now there are some defenders out there for the most part, and what they are saying is that this is basically a deluxe figure, a $35 figure being included, versus like a little Zanya figure or whatever. But you could also argue the same thing about Serpentor. But if you're just looking at a bunch of accessories crammed in there, well, the average normal figures get a lot of accessories. And if you even look at, say, the retro figures get a stand. Well, he gets a shield. And, you know, I've never even noticed, I didn't watch the live stream, but is that little sword, I assume the tiny sword is removable. I assume, but I don't know if it's removable or if that's just all cast in there together. But yeah, it's a good figure, a good size figure. It looks good. Hey, that's why people want it. That's why this is at the heart of a lot of discussion. Because if this was something people didn't want, they just would not care at all. Oh, it's 110, who cares? And the fact that it is so cool is why people are up in arms and upset about it and playing the clearance chicken game. The last Defender comment, obviously, you know, I give both sides of the story, the rest of the story. Some people are concerned that the Demon might be the next Haslab. Now, nobody knows for sure, and there's pure speculation. But from a pure speculation aspect, if the Demon's the next Haslab, we've never seen a Haslab fail. The Demon is an amazing, awesome vehicle. I don't know if I can handle one bigger than the vintage one. It's a pretty good size for what it is, but it would have to be considerably larger, not just twice the size. if it's going to match the Despoiler. So it's going to be huge, and it would be amazing. The point is, if that Haslab is the demon, then people are going to need a Despoiler to go with it. And man, you would think if it was a Haslab for like 300 that the Despoiler would be included, but no, it wouldn't be included in a demon. You'd have to get your own Despoiler to go with it. So there's a lot of things to consider, but at the same time, there's a minimum order quantity on things like this, and the Despoiler that they're making, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty on the market, or I assume. And one other thing, every time I talk about G.I. Joe Classifieds, something weird happens with Super 7. This thing has been sold out for over a year on BBTS. Now, I go to BBTS to try to find some pictures of stuff, and this is popping up as, hey, guess what? There's pre-orders are up for this. Pre-orders were not up for this Saturday. And so they are now. I have no idea. This is getting another reissue. Is it just back stock coming in? I don't know. It's really weird. It's odd. But are we going to see this with the Despoiler? Guess what? If and when it sells out in 2029, is it going to come back in stock in 2033? Are those good numbers? Anyway, I really thank the community for bringing me to my senses and telling me I need to cancel my order. Because of the fact that I don't want to spend 110 on it. I don't. And I've been uneasy about it. It's sat in the back of my mind as like, why would I do this? If I ordered it from Pulse, it's a little harder to cancel. There's just a little bit more to jump through, but not bad. But it's really easy on BBTS. And with that, I'm curious how many people out there really are still getting this, because I do know there are people that are still pre-ordering it. They're still going to get it. They're still going to pay the 110, and I'm just really curious, are we going to make any traction with the pricing and these offerings and the value play if people don't order this and this is what they would consider a flop, and then of course it goes clearance, all that? Or is Hasbro going to do what Hasbro do and just go, oh, well, they don't care about these kinds of things and vehicles and make less vehicles? I mean, I'm curious. I'm really curious. But let me know what you think in the comments. So like, subscribe, and Titanium Hanger out.